Greetings once more. I am making this show because the creatures of the warp told me to, and you are watching Dark Heresy Overview and Vidcast. Now, in case you are wondering what happened in Session 9, well, you don't have to only take it from us. You can watch the whole thing live, pretty much, if you want. Yeah, just click the annotation on screen now to watch it. That's cool, isn't it? Because we filmed the entirety of the thing, and put that up there in videos, gave it its own mini playlist so you can follow it a bit better, but also stuck it in the Dark Heresy playlist, because that's what we also do, just for completeness' sake. But I am going to refer to the goings-on and happenings of that video, because having watched it and having communicated with some of you in the comments as well, we've got some things to further say about it. So consider this if you like. If you haven't seen the live series, then and you're going to, then watch the live series first and then watch this. Consider this the continuation of that. Otherwise, you can also, if you're not going to watch the live series, consider this the shortened version, like the normal overview vidcast would be.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, we're going to start off with a big old shout-out. The first one goes to Winston Biggleswade, and he has been very active in the comments. In fact, this series has inspired him to get into Dark Heresy, to start playing it. He's been doing that. I've been over to his channel before as well. Very much laughed at his walk around the Fallout house. I thought that was good. That actually went on to my favourites. He's put in a really good idea for what we could possibly do with our shotgun thing, and we'll cover that soon in an upcoming and talk about whether we're going to implement it. And a few other ideas he's put to Laurie here for his GMing of the Heresy campaign.
Yeah.
But in converse with him, he pointed out from video 1 with the Demon Nightmares, I think it was, where we go to climb down, or we try to climb down into the structure that leads below the cathedral. We had it that, well, no one's got climb, so no one can even attempt to climb. And he pointed out, sorry guys, climb's a basic skill. Then he pointed out page 99 of the core rulebook. So, when we go to the core rulebook and check it, yes, it is a basic skill, as are a number of other things. But we messed up. No, we were saying that no one's got climb because it's not a basic. How could this have possibly happened? Well, let me tell you how that actually happened. It's because somewhere along the line, someone else has messed up. And this is how.
There we go.
The printouts that we got for our Dark Heresy character sheets, we thought were the same as the damned rulebook. They look the same, right? That's correct, yes. It says it there. It all looks right, symbols-wise. But when we come to the basic skills list, and we examine charm, concealment, contortionist. There's something called climb. Huh? Deceive, disguise, dodge, evaluate, gamble, inquiry, intimidate, logic. Oh, and what's that under S that isn't climb? Scale, shear, surfaces.
Now, who's actually going to be looking for that realistically?
It's alphabetized, right? Now, when you look in the back of the core rulebook, you'll see that they have it listed as climb.
It's in the same place as scale, shear, surfaces. They've just changed what they've called it.
So they're not alphabetized.
Nope, not there either. Everything else is alphabetized but that.
What's going on? And then, the really weird thing is, he then pointed out that, what was it, things like, command and that.
Oh,
command is a basic, right?
Yeah, it's not there.
Command
it's not in the basics.
Command is not on this sheet, but it's not on the core rulebook sheet either.
But in the skills and talent section, you will find command listed as basic.
Come on, Fantasy Flight. How do you expect us to play this game and not make mistakes like this? Why do you print a basics list, right? These basics here, and then have a great big gap list. You could have printed the rest of them there. And don't say, oh, there's gaps there. So you must have known that there was more basics to add. Because my assassin
planet. Yeah, each homeworld gets extra basics you can take as a background thing.
My assassin gets to treat common law tech and survival as basics. So I've written them into that space, which would suggest that those spaces are for things like that. Why bother having the basics listed when you don't list all of the basics? Why toy with us and auto-print some of them out for us like you are trying to help us, like it's some sort of resource? Sod you, alright? Sod you, you stupid motherfucking idiot faces sake. Why show us up like that? Is that enough machine gun fire?
Live editing once more.
Really? How stupid is that?
But yeah, if you look on the core rulebook again on page 99, you'll find command right under climb in the book, and it has basic in brackets next to it.
Now, apparently you've been trying to implement one of my ideas that I've used before in things, and that is pre-rolling.
Yep.
You did this bit in Woofrup as well, didn't you?
A little bit, yeah.
Right. Here's what pre-rolling is. You're the GM. You take some dice, you take a pen, you take some paper, and you roll the dice, and you write the result down. And you roll the dice, and write the result down. And you keep doing that for as long as you want to quickly pre-generate a bunch of rolls that the GM would make. Now, this would be things like NPCs that might make their attacks. This is their weapon skill, this is their strength, or certain other factors that the GM would roll for. If you are running a very, very fast, quick encounter, and this is where it works best, because obviously the GM wants sometimes the little feel of, oh, is he going to make it, and actually have the live dice roll, because it's nice, isn't it? But as I was just saying, the thing where this works best is very fast-paced moving encounters. So something like a gladiatorial duel, or the sort of thing where it'd be one-on-one, but it's very intensive about what the A and B. It's not just, I am there and I am hitting you. Oh, good, I am hitting you back. Now it is my turn to hit you like I did the first time, but doing it for a second time, the hitting you with you of my thought.
Basically those old boxing toy things where you have to just mash two buttons and you're standing there like that, and it's just two going dum 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 dum.
Or it could be two nuns. Pre-rolls is something you may consider doing for those fast-paced, crazy moments so you don't have to take the time to roll the dice. Now, I think you've implemented that here and there, haven't you?
Yeah.
For ease sake, to keep the speed there.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there. It was really weird to look back on the live play.
Oh, yeah.
To see the way some people talk and to get an idea of when you're not actually playing, of what the way people play, their manner, and you could see that I'm with Jerichus at the very least. I'm the absolute opposite as I was to Maestro.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To see all the other different characters at play as well.
It's also especially interesting to see my own GMing from an outside perspective.
But it's weird. It's almost like seeing your naked baby photos when you're trying to watch it back because you got all the mistakes that what's on the
Yeah, it's true.
It was pretty good actually. All in all, the Black Sepulchre. The front cover of the book now actually makes sense because this is the image that we were left with right at the very end that Laurie describes with the three statues there.
Not that the book gives me anything inside to be able to show.
There was a few places there looking back at it that didn't quite make a lot of sense. Now, those of you that watched it, the live session videos, you will have heard Jez and I, in particular, complain about the bookshelves on fire thing.
Yes.
Because, yes, the book cases, shelves, whatever it is, however it was said, you might have said shelves, I don't know.
Yeah.
You would think the books are on fire. Ultimately, there was a demon there that created a fire apparition, or a demon outside, and it created a fire apparition of itself inside to try and stop us. It created an illusion around an area that was actually all gears and working parts to the Titan, and it's a library. Now, I think where they're going at this is that it's supposed to be inside the demon's own consciousness, and he's trapped you in his own consciousness. And the only way you can beat a demon is by, well, understanding its true name, if you want to do it without combat, of course. You've got power over it, at the very least, I should be saying. And it would make sense that within the library of its own consciousness that you'd be able to find the book with its true name in, because it knows its own true name. But that's a little funny, isn't it? Especially the fact given that the book really does stack things against the players being able to figure that out on their own. And Laurie pretty much just ended up telling us. And that didn't feel very satisfying. And the intelligence of the group is very good. So for him to have to do that, I think they failed. Beware, if you're going to GM the Black Sepulchre, then be sure to inform your players of the goings-on in this section very carefully, in a way not necessarily as the book reads.
Yeah, try and make it make more sense.
Why are we going to grab hold of books to start reading them in the middle of an encounter of a fight? That's not the first thing you do. You don't stand there and read a book.
Yeah.
If you're under attack. You try to fight the thing attacking you. That's the first thing. However, even if you were of a mind to do it, you wouldn't, because the books are on fire, you'd think. Because it makes it you immediately feel. If you'd have been the player, and someone else had have GM read that from the book, the Black Sepulchre, you would have wanted to pick up a book.
Probably not. I probably would have, well, depending on the character, they would have done different actions, but none of them would have probably think of like, oh, let's go read a book.
Because they're on fire. You don't want to burn your hands.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't even think that the books would be legible because they're on fire. It wasn't like, oh, there's a psychic fire going up around the bookshelves, but the books are still all right. There wasn't like a clue even to state that. There wasn't like specific, oh, it's not touching the books.
Yeah.
As if to sort of suggest these are the schemata of its mind. They're still open. I mean, come on, be fair, you that wrote this. Be fair, but you're not, are you? And then we had the other stupidity. Speak its name. Bollocks. That is the clue. Speak its name. We've got bookshelves on fire from books we don't want to read because we'll burn our hands, we think. And then we've got to speak its name. So we're running through all the names because when it says speak its name, that would suggest that there is information that we've already learned. That's why we make notes in things.
Mm.
We're taught to make notes. And we run through all the names that we've learnt.
I must say, it wasn't the smartest of challenges to throw at you, to be honest.
And none of the names work, of course, because the name's written in the bloody book. It isn't even something we've encountered before. It's something stupid like isn't it? Well, that's as you know.
That's an example of possibilities. Yes. I wonder whose true name watching this you've just said really, and who you've got power over now.
I don't think it's quite so much power. I think it was more Tasmanian devil ordering dessert. It shouldn't be speak its name. All right. To the people that wrote this, all right. Naughty, naughty. It should have been find its name. No help, is there? No help, no clue, nothing. Just that, and the books aren't on fire. But that would have been enough. We're clever guys. We'd have got it from that. So be warned, all right? Then we fought a greater demon.
Oh, yeah.
4 of us versus it.
Yep.
If we'd have been fighting a completely powered up, full health greater demon, we'd have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
as it was, we had hit it from the Quake cannon.
Yep.
Which had wounded it severely, and then it came in and attacked us in its dimmed down form, and that nearly killed us. Now, while it might seem, ooh, that's more balanced for the group, bear in mind that some of us had massive negative fear results modifiers against us.
Yep.
And only one of us had sanctified rounds, and the other one had a holy hammer, but he got wiped out in pretty much after
2
one
turns.
hit. Yeah, he got wiped out on the second turn, didn't he?
Yeah, because this is Caractacus we're speaking about, and
Caractacus runs in, whacks it one.
Yeah, he has an aversion to ranged weaponry. That's part of his background, and that does give him some, well, interesting RP, if you will, but quite a negative effect in combat, because he's always got to get in melee. And there might be a lot of things that are trying to stay out of melee range.
He hit it, he got aggro, and it one-shot him. And then it flew up into the air to try and finish the rest of us off. We're all firing at it and we can't do it damage. It was an unkillable creature for us at that point. Jerichus was most penalised. He was running at -20 to all tests and half action. So anything that was a full action would take 2 turns just to be able to do. It was an awful, awful time to manoeuvre in and do anything in. You know, if he was going to try and full auto or something like that, then it would have had to have been a delay and then the full auto in the turn after and this sort of thing. I think that's one of the main reasons we struggled, because of those sort of modifiers. And if we'd have rolled better, and had the sort of the proper ammunition, more distributed round for the anti-demon thing, then I'm sure that that would have been another one of those, oh, that was over a bit too easy type encounters. So I don't want to get too excited yet and say, oh, the challenge factor is going to remain ramped, even though that was, if we were ever going to record one, that was the one to record, because that was tense to the wire. I mean, it wiped out Caractacus. It put him unconscious, in fact. He didn't have to spend his fate point.
Was stunned for 2 rounds and knocked out by fatigue.
Yes. And then at that point, the knocked out was a very long time indeed.
Yeah.
And then the demon, he flew up into the air and said, right, I'm going to try and wipe out the prone guy and just AoE bomb the rest of them, wipe them all out in one go.
Carpet bomb the entire area.
So he did this massive blast from the air, and the blast of that then would have finished off Caractacus. So he spent a fate point, which was his final fate point.
Oh, yeah.
Just to not die from that in his unconscious form. I suppose, thinking about it, one of us could have grabbed him and tried to drag him free, but it wouldn't have been me, because I'm only on half actions. I wouldn't have been able to get far.
And apart from Jerichus, Padraig and Kisdeen were too far away to really get in range quick enough to drag him out.
Now, not only did that put Caractacus now down to 0 fate points left to be able to spend, meaning the next death he has
is actually official.
Is the true death. But it also wiped Kisdeen out as well.
Oh, yeah.
And put Kisdeen down to 1 fate point.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just Padraig and Jerichus left, and Jerichus kept on putting some shots in it. Padraig had sanctified rounds, so kept hammering it with the gun. Jerichus managed to get over to the shield that Padraig had dropped and try and raise that, to try and brace against it firebombing again, but it managed to knock it out of the sky, mostly from Padraig's sanctified rounds, of course.
Yeah.
Jerichus has never managed to get any rounds like that.
Nope.
He's always used just straight rounds.
That's basically because that's Jerichus's way of doing things. He's never expected that he's going to need those extra special rounds.
Yeah, he's the anti-personnel master, isn't he?
Yeah. Padraig, he's got a hatred of psychers and things from the warp, so he's like, right, in that case then I'll be buying stuff that, just in case a psyker goes mental, I'll have stuff available to me. We
were hanging on in there, but we managed to bring it down. It fell to the ground prone, and then we managed to finish it off, and then it, you know what the demons do, they go poof and disappear back to the realm. They're not truly dead.
Much.
Not truly dead, are they? So we got through that. Now, you've said, even though you didn't explain this to the players, because afterwards you went online, didn't you, and researched it. What did you find? On the forums, wasn't it?
Well, there are certain things that say that one should use GM's prerogative, and that due to the difficulty of what this encounter is, we're facing a greater demon here. It's a particularly dangerous encounter, that survivors of the fight who didn't spend a fate point to just be rendered unconscious and unavailable to fight anymore in the fight should gain a fate point, where the book itself says nothing about gaining fate points at all. But that could lead to one saying that the book says nothing about not gaining fate points either.
Yeah. So you decided to grant them for standing characters at the end of the fight, didn't you? So that's going to put Padraig from 2 up to 3, and it's going to put Jerichus from 4 back up to the cap again at 5.
Yep. However, there was one small issue I had forgotten at the time.
Because remember, guys, there was loads of corruption, loads of insanity going around. People were getting corruption all over the place. You'll even see that Padraig ended up getting 10 corruption points in one go from you rolling a d10 to generate it randomly.
Yes.
What does all this mean from this demon that you didn't mention to the players then?
Because it has a fear rating of 4, although its fear rating was nullified negatively down to 2, due to the effects you had done in the pre-build-up, its actual fear rating being 4 means you would have gained 4 corruption points altogether each for failing the fear test. Which means Padraig would now be at 31.
That's the really important one, isn't it?
Oh yeah, every 30. Every 30 points, you take 2 tests from your stats to test against mutation.
So Padraig still needs to do that, and we'll probably do that at the beginning of session 10.
Oh yeah.
Tell you what happens as a result of that in subsequent updates.
Considering the mutations he's got a choice from, since they're minor ones, some of them are easily hidden, and a couple of them would be really funny if Padraig actually gets them, because they'll be like, oh, fitting for his RP or becoming more like the player.
But it's true though, isn't it? He is becoming more like the player. We have a little mantra in this group. We love it when things go wrong. Things are most fun when things are going wrong, aren't they, really?
It's always more fun that way. Everybody loves it.
I do quite think it's refreshing, like the way Dragon Age does it. That I won't go too much into the realms of the exactitude of how that works, because I'll cover that when I start putting the campaign together to GM it.
Oh, yeah.
In the upcoming. But the idea behind it is that the way Dragon Age RPG approaches it is that it awards, well, experience in this case, based on how difficult the group found it. So there's no recommended experience to any encounters in the book. It's the GM's always got to come up with an amount. That's refreshing. I like that. So I suppose you could look at it in that way, that the group really struggled. So
I mean, 2 of you went down.
You will do the optional thing of giving.
I think Jericho's took a severe amount of damage.
Yeah.
Compared to Padraig. However, Padraig took some damage because he's so armed to the teeth with all that armor. Even though Padraig pretty much has the same amount of armor as Karaticus, Karaticus went down pretty fast.
He really did. Was that just because the demons hit him, or do you think he got unlucky?
Well, the demon was hitting him with a very high amounts of damage. Pete got lucky with a dodge roll on that firestorm. I'm not sure if there's some ruling in there that says you can't dodge any psychic power.
But you had to make a call.
Yeah.
To not slow the encounter down.
Yeah, pretty much. At the time, it was something I wasn't sure about, so I thought, let's just let everyone dodge it, see if they can. But
now, just one other further clarification, that Winston Biggleswade again has come forward as a result of one of our previous comments about, is it actually a typo with the assassin agility being 500 and then 500 again for expert?
Yeah.
And no, he's pointed out logically that it's not a typo because there are other instances where things are repeated and just cheaper, and they've done it because of the ease of learning for that particular class.
Yeah, there's at least 3 other classes in the book that have one stat that has 500 for the last 2, expert and trained.
Just to cover that. And on that front of agility, with the 585 I had total to spend, I grabbed 500 of that and bought my 3rd agility. Thus now putting me to 51 now, and that puts him, what do you reckon, on par with the Eldar? Or?
Pretty much, I would guess so.
So
that's for a human.
That's incredible.
A normal human, at least.
Now, because he is Agi 51, this makes a few immediate changes to him. For example, 51 means he's now dodging at 71 because he's plus 20. Ooh. It also means that his movement is changed forever. His basic half action move is now 5.
Ooh.
His full action one is 10. His charge is 15. And his run is 30. And with that note, then, we shall call the recollections to an end for now. We're gaming again soon for session 10. And you're not going to be continuing the vein of the book, are you?
Nope.
You'll be doing something else that is player story driven.
Oh, yeah. You gotta love those player story stuff.
Tune in soon to find out what happened. But for now, as always, I'll see you at the table.